Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon, Sir Alex. Good afternoon, Sir Dennis. It's nice to see you once again. Every time I do live deepening session. How are you guys? How are you, sirs? Kumusta ang panahon sa inyo? Were you affected with the earthquake? I think naka-mute si Sir Dennis and you are talking, I think.
Ayun. Hello po. Good afternoon po, sir. Good afternoon, Sir Dennis. Good afternoon, Sir Dave. Yun po. Okay naman po dito so far. Pero naapektuhan daw po kami kanina nung earthquake. Tulog po kasi ako nung nangyari sa around 1 a.m. po yata. Ayun. Pero
Yeah.
the weather naman is fine. And uh, we're grateful na hindi naman ganun kalakas yung effect sa amin ng earthquake. Thank you po
Yeah,
for
thank
asking, sir.
Yeah. Uh, ako din, I did not notice the earthquake kasi nga tulog. Although I was working, but I really do not know why I did not notice. But anyway, so welcome for this afternoon's live deepening. This is all about learning or designing activities in virtual classroom to improve learner to assessment and feedback. So basically, as we all know, there are many components of student engagement, and the common or I think the most emerging issue of student engagement is students are not engaged with quizzes, with assessment, and so on and so forth. So our activity actually or our learning resources for this week is basically talks about how to how to invite students, how to make students more engaged in our assessment and feedbacking. Common issue, especially in the shift from face to online, teachers are simply putting all the exercises online, but they did not receive any form of feedback. They did not receive ano nang nangyayari ng mga exercises nila, no? Kasi pag if during the face-to-face, napaka-easy. The students will just say, "Sir, where is our paper?" Tapos, in fact, during the face-to-face, we have to collectively correct pa nga the paper, di ba, from our students. But in the online, most of the time, sa sobrang hindi pa ganun ka-prepare si teacher, the tendency is put all the activities, assignment. But unfortunately, teachers are not giving feedback. Teachers are not checking the exercises. Oh, nagdanad si Sir Dennis. Yes, Sir Dennis. Bakit nagsasmile si Sir Dennis? Sir, I think your mic is not cooperating this afternoon. Yeah. So you can just type Sir Dennis kasi it's not cooperating. So gano'n, no? Gano'n nangyayari. And while we give some tips and tricks, this one is really based on our experiment, based on our experiences. But for sure, there are many aspects that you do feedbacking. Actually, the rule of thumb really here is we give feedback to our students. Ganun lang naman kasimple. If may mga assignment, alam dapat ni teacher na, alam dapat ni teacher na mag-provide talaga siya ng feedback. Kasi when the students do not know their feedback, hindi nila alam para na lang sa mga gusto sigurong or mga hindi talaga seryoso to learn. They really care, no? They really care your feedbacks and so on and so forth. In my experience in teaching online, It's not necessarily every day that you give feedback. The most important thing is there is a certain period, there is a certain regular time that the students would be expecting that the teacher would give feedback. So say for example, ako naman hindi talaga kaya every meeting magpo-provide ka ng feedback. Hindi talaga kaya, kakayanin. So for example, ako, in my case, I always give every after 2 weeks, the students would know that I will give all the assignments feedback, that they will receive their score and so on and so forth. Kaya in the online, as much as possible, we automate. I automate as much as possible the overall feedback, the general feedback, specific feedback, as much as possible, automated siya para naman hindi ganun ka-burden si teacher. Except for essay part, you really have to do manually. Okay, you really have to do manually the feedbacking of the essay, the exercises, and even the performance task. Okay, even the performance task, because okay lang pag mga formative assessment because that can be automated. But summative exercises, summative and performance based evaluation, it needs to be skill oriented, or it should be in a higher level of in the Bloom's taxonomy, di ba? So kaya yun ang difficult actually to provide feedback among our students. Now, okay lang yung feedback if we have 5 students, 10 students, di ba? Pero if we are having 20, 30, 40 students, napaka-difficult. Kasi nga, for one, we are in an online, we said that as much as possible, we offer um, activities, no? Activities that would respond to the higher level of thinking skill. Pag higher level, usually performance talaga, skills oriented talaga, and the discussions, yung mga ganon. Kaya ako talaga I can understand why teachers cannot provide immediate feedback. Okay? But my hint really to you is even if that is uh, a summative assessment, acknowledging an email really matters, or acknowledging a submission really matters to the students. Yung tipong may mga automated message ka na, oh, thank you for thank you for submitting. I will be reviewing this and so on, and I'll be providing my. For the meantime, all you have to do is to read the resources because these are the blah 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 and blah blah blah. So ganun siya. It's really a matter of connecting to the students about the assessment, because para yung mind shift ni student is not just simply about number, the score, but it's about your connectivity, your connection, and how you touch their life. Parang ganun siya. Yung yung connection, yung engagement. Yun ang initial observation ko na when you do that, kasi nga ako I'm also teaching actually, no. I'm teaching in the undergrad, I'm teaching also in the graduate level. And sometimes my work really is very demanding, so sometimes I cannot really return papers. But I always made sure that I have schedule for them, like, oh, apologize, I cannot give the result for this one, but rest assured that I was viewing it. No, minsan hindi mo na view, but you have to tell them that you were viewing, that you were viewing their assignment, that you are acknowledging it. Para may mga trick lang na, oh, I saw the paper of ano, but I have not checked it yet. Anyway, I will just provide feedback later on. Parang ano lang, parang assurance lang that the teacher is really, nag-follow up ka, that there is connectivity, there is connection from you as a teacher and to the assessment component, and not just assessment of learning. Hindi siya yung assessment kahit dahil may score, may number. But nag-follow up ka, you wanted to engage with your student because you wanted to follow up on their learning. Not just simply because, oh, bakit zero yung score mo? Hindi ganun. But rather attack on, oh, what you have learned, you know? So, ganun siya. Ganun din siya in an online thing. And in giving feedbacking naman, even during the assessment, hindi naman siya pwedeng synchronous lahat, no? There are many ways. Even email, you can actually send schedule for email for the students to be reminded. Ako, I do that, no? I do that before COVID, kasi hindi ganun ka institutionalize yung LMS namin. So I sent email, no? Halimbawa, 'di ba, first day of the class may mga schedule ka naman, 'di ba? First day of the class meron ka ng schedule of activities. So yung schedule of activities ko, kino-compose ko 'yan lahat in my email. Tapos I'm not sure if you are doing this. I use the feature of email on schedule send. You can write today, and then on the next month or on the next week, tsaka pa magpapadala automatically si email. So ganun siya, parang just a reminder for the students. In fact, meron ako mga random email messages to my students. Even right now, random messages to my students. Just as simple as this. How was the exam? Yung mga ganun lang. I hope you enjoyed. Randomly, out of nowhere, na hindi nila na-expect na mag-send ka ng notice about it. Because it's really more of engaging them of the assessment of learning, not on the score that they got, because it's just a number, no? But again, in the online, for sure, there are many challenges in giving paper, especially pag ganito yung setup nyo. Halimbawa si Sir Dennis, mathematics si Sir Dennis eh. Solution, piece of paper. Tapos, siguro ipipicture nila. Tapos ipapadala ni Sir. Ang hirap mag-provide ng feedback to that. 'Di ba? Ang hirap mag-provide ng feedback. Ang gagawin ko, Sir Dennis, so yung solutions ko, I have to, kasi nga I teach din mga discrete math. Ang solution, I have to pre-record the solution. Pre-record it para hindi na ako mag generally, while I am recording, while I do the solutions and doing all the video recording, I sometimes mention yung mga estudyante ko na mali yung ginagawa nila. So for example, this is how to get your permutation, o Juan de la Cruz, hindi tama yung ginawa mo, dapat kasi ganito ganyan, o tingnan mo si Maria, maganda yung solution niya. Yung mga ganon, it's really more of engaging them, even if that is asynchronous, no? Pero as I've said, these are ideal thing, but the tips and tricks that I shared with you are, I tested this, I experimented this in my class, and medyo okay naman. And when we give assessment kasi, yun nga lang ang problema, pag short and frequent, the tendency is, pag hindi mo na check yung first short, ayan na, mag-chain effect na siya. Kasi meron pa dito isa, meron pa namang isa, and so on and so forth. But I had a solution to that lately. 'Di ba, marami. So instead of one activity, china-chop-chop ko siya to activity 1A, activity 1B, activity 1C. So instead na mag-feedback ko every activity, ang gagawin ko is I will have my overall feedback at the end of that activity. Para hindi ganun ka effort si teacher in providing your feedbacking, no? And then let's not forget also, again, babalik naman ako to always make sure to count, to quantify the screen time of your performance tasks or of your activities. Doon talaga actually ang problema eh. Even si teacher hindi nga alam, ilang oras ba ito gagawin ni student. Ewan ko lang, depende. No? Ganun yung mga responses ni teacher kasi hindi na siya emulate. Ako talaga, I simulated all my exercises. no? Especially yung mga problem solving, Sir Dennis, I really simulated it. Mag-simulate talaga ako na ito gagawin pag magso-solve, tapos ganito, ganyan, ganyan. So alam ko ano yung screen time, no? Okay. And then well, if you have an automated learning management system, you can actually comply or apply some restriction, some activity completion. Pag may mga ano naman, I'm not sure if in Google Classroom may mga gano'n, no, restrictions, completions. I'm not sure if there are that kind of features. But my point when I say restriction is sometimes helpful pag hindi mo ibigay lahat ni estudyante at you can develop a learning journey for them, no? So parang parang sa atin lang, you cannot proceed with quiz if hindi ka mag-post to the forum para makapag-engage ka naman with the other students. So, may mga kunting automation. And then, well, obviously, you have to set up your grade book. You have to inform the students about their grades. Ako kasi, I always tell my students to monitor their to monitor their completion, to monitor the grade sheets, their grade book. Sometimes, para ma-force sila to check their performance, I tell them, check your grade uh, grade progress report, submit a screenshot to me. Para alam ko talaga na talagang nag-view sila doon. But that's my way of pushing them to really look at their grades. Para alam nila yung assessment, yung mga evaluation. Minsan kasi, based sa experience ko rin, may mga estudyante na wala talagang paki if may feedback ka or wala. Kasi nag-eksperimento din ako na nag-put ako ng feedback, ng comment, pero interactive siya. I said, for you to know my feedback, send me a private message. Naku, hindi talaga nag-send ng private message. It's either hindi niya nabasa or hindi talaga nag-open ng feedback si estudyante or takot lang siyang magbigay ako ng feedback. So may mga ganun, make your feedbacking interactive din, no? Para you can verify na talagang they are serious into it or they are looking into the feedbacking coming from you. And then I give praises to the students. Send smileys. Alam nila yan. Maganda. Nagagandahan sila sa mga smiley. No? I remember two students two students sent a screenshot to me. One student said, "How come her smiley are 5? Mine is 3. We have the same answer." Yung mga yung mga ganun ba? It was a reflection to me because oh my god, it's just a figure. It's a smiley. You know what smiley is, di ba? It's just a smiley. Parang nilagay ko lang doon sa paper nila. Smiley, smiley, smiley. 5 yung nailagay ko without actually any thinking na how many smileys. Basta click lang ako doon. Smiley. 5 smileys yung isa, 3 smileys yung isa. Nagko-compare pala sila. I mean, it matters to them. And kung no, it doesn't mean, okay, don't worry, next time, I'll give you 100 smileys. No? So, ganun siya. It helps. It helps to them. I also received from our colleague teachers from the elementary school. Badges are very helpful to them. Students are, di ba, siguro tayo at our age, Sir Dennis, andun, naka-experience tayo ng mga stars. Ako, when I was kindergarten or elementary, di ba, I should perform well for me to have 5 stars, 3 stars. So it's really a piece of paper and then our teacher will give, oh, ito yung star mo kasi you're good boy, star. Then I go home with so many stars bringing on my hand. Parang ganung concept na badges siya instead of the stars, electronic na lang na badge or stars. I am not Also sure if your school has activated your online system, online referral system, go ahead with that. Proceed with that because that is also helpful. No, that is also helpful. Like let's say for example during your feedbacking, and then ako kasi usually sa mga estudyante ko I spend asking them about their lives, about their how we can help, and then if hindi natin kaya, that's the time that we are going to refer. Hindi naman pwedeng mag-act like a guidance counselor din tayo. Of course, we will start from our own capacity as a teacher. Pag hindi na natin kaya, doon na natin i-forward to the guidance office, which for me feedbacking also helps. And that's yun ang palagi kong ini-emphasize na when we do feedbacking, we don't feedback because the scores they got, but because of the learning that they had, and the learning that they will get more out from your discussion. Ay ganun lang ka, parang assuring lang to make, especially again in this online environment na it's really difficult to get the emotional component of the engagement, no, unlike in the face to face na ano pa lang, itsura pa lang alam na natin na the students are not engaged with the exam kasi it's difficult. But the logs and some other performance logs of the students can actually help you as a teacher also in um, in making follow up to our students. Like ako during exams, um, switch off camera ako. I switch off camera talaga ako. I establish trust to our students. I always tell them, I trust you. I think I don't need to look at your face during the exam. Just go ahead with that. But I always tell my students that I am checking your logs. No? I am checking ano yung kiniklik mo while you are taking the exam, ano yung dina-download mo, and so on and so forth. So, ganun siya. And then, from time to time, during assessment also, during mga, especially major exam, from time to time, I tell, oh, John, you can proceed. Why staying so long on item number 3? Yung LMS kasi namin can determine that one eh. So, we can look at ilang minutes na siya in a one particular item. So, ganun. So, students would know there is a conscious mind among our students na si teacher pala is monitoring me. So, I should study well. Uh, so, it's a challenging because this is assessment thing, and then maybe there is disconnect because while we teachers we are assessing the learning, students feel kasi is they have to take the quiz because of the score. No, it's not on for us to know to gauge their learning. So especially in the basic education, feedbacking is really 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 important. And the only challenge talaga is in the ODL setup, in the online distance learning setup, especially pag si teacher nangangapa pa nangangapa pa in the making of the delivery. Ito kasi pinaka-low na assessment nga engagement eh. Kasi nga hindi na siya nagiging priority. Kasi the priority ni teachers muna is content production, delivery, yun pa muna, no? And then towards the end na kasi yung feedbacking. Lalo na pag, "Oh, naku, next week may ano na naman. So, gagawa muna ako ng digital content. Tapos, natapos na yung quiz. So, bahala na si quiz. Hindi na nagdi-discuss si teacher kasi nga wala ng time. No? And hopefully, in the future, we can reconsider balancing the act from delivery down to assessment. Kasi nga, yun nga, students may feel boring na siguro, wala nang gana mag-take ng quiz or perform the activities kasi it may not, I mean, the assessment are not engaging. Di ba? Hi, nakalimutan ko. Ma'am Warley or Sir Warley?
Ma'am Warly po, sir.
Hi ma'am. Hi ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Oh yeah, so solved na yung ano mo ma'am, certificate. Ikaw yung
Yes,
nag-inquire ng
sir.
oh,
Okay na siya. Thank you
oo.
po, sir.
Ayan, oo. Kumusta ang weather diyan ma'am? Okay lang ang
Ulan
earthquake?
ngayon.
Wala.
Umuulan ngayon. It's raining.
Oo. How can you ano ma'am? So share ka ma'am, how did you ensure or um what are
Ay,
some
kuan,
what
sir.
are some of your tips?
Feedbacking.
Yes, yeah,
I'm
feedbacking.
listening to your feedbacking ko and then uh just the other week we have our prelim exam. After the prelim exam, I just send them a short video via photon. Just kuan lang siya kanang how is your exam? How is your prelim exam? Then after that, nadain ko yung mga advance Christmas greetings. It's Vermont na, na sir. Then while I'm checking the prelim exam, kanang every now and then kanang na turn in na kay we're still using Google Classroom kay our LMS is not fully developed pa siguro. So we are just using Google Classroom. Sad to say, wala siya restrictions. Then, kuan siya, sir. While I'm checking, kanang open po na nga mong Messenger GC, kay nayuban nga, turned in, pero no attachment found. Mga ingon ana. Then, I just said nga, panalitan yung ngalan, Marlon, kindly watch again our tutorial so that you will know how to turn in. Ma'am, dili o kabalo, just screenshot that the kuan kay we're using Google Form, then dili man gid siya kabalo, so just screenshot your score and screenshot your essay part so that I can check and input your grade in our Google Classroom. Mga nga na siya, sir, nga at least they know nga sayop to siya, then naay correct nga bata nga maayo gid siya mo turn in, kindly tutor or help this one para she can turn in properly. Ingon ana, sir.
Yeah, that's good. That's very nice, ma'am. It's nice to hear that kind of situation. Yun nga sabi is pag may ano, ano na, pag uh, there is really always a way, no? If we have a will to
Yeah.
be creative, there is always a way to find solution
Okay.
in all the challenges that we have. So it's very interesting. The GC, the group chat is really helpful kasi helpful naman talaga siya, especially pag walang load or hindi ganun
Yes, sir.
ka. Yeah. Kasi
And
for one,
you're just dependent on data. Okay ra gid ang messenger.
correct, correct. No, and at least you can connect with your students
Yes.
in relation to the activities. Kasi nga at feedbacking, as I said, it really helps. It really helps, especially even a simple call, a simple I mean mentioning their names in the online, even my
Yeah.
pre-recorded na feedbacking, I mention names in the pre-recorded feedbacking. No, I mention names para they are aware na oh I'm checking and that I really look at their file. Kasi that's really the issue, no? Even in our university, our student government is asking, do we have standard of the feedbacking? Kasi nga, si teacher, post lang ng post ng mga activities and they do not know and they do not know their responses. Kulbaan na lang takot na si student kasi they only know that they are failed in the class when they receive their grade. So ganon, ganon. And then
Yeah.
when sometimes kasi this is a defense mechanism ni teacher na they are not prepared in the delivery. So all they have to do is to just post all those assignments, no? Post all those assignments. Tapos pag nagtambak na 40 submissions having 7 sections, nako, hindi na talaga ma-check. So, ang gagawin, 100%, 100 na lahat. So ganun at hindi alam at hindi alam. Even yung mga essay na part, yung LMS kasi namin merong rubrics. You can attach a rubric and then we always tell to our colleagues that even performance tasks you should have I mean it's ideal no or it is a standard that there should be rubrics in all performance tasks kailangan naman talaga yan but the catch there is it's gonna be easy to provide feedback in a learning management system like ours because we have a feature there to include rubrics so while nagbabasa si teacher automatic may input na niya kaagad yung score and then there is a real time feedbacking ng mga estudyante. So, thank you Ma'am Warley.
Welcome, sir.
Um Sir Alex, from the basic education perspective, kailangan talaga ito ng basic ed.
Yes, sir. It is very helpful for our little ones, po, especially yun nga, in the elementary department. You need to give feedbacks regarding po dun sa mga sinasagutan po nila. Well, just to share our practice po here in our school, yun po, every week we're giving them feedbacks in their asynchronous activities. And then, yun po, just like what you mentioned earlier, that in performance tasks, we need talaga to give feedbacks regarding sa mga based dun sa rubric na inano din natin sa kanila. And one thing na lang po that I would like to add dun po sa may sinabi niyo rin po kanina. It is very important nga po to give praises or we commend our students. Yun, aside from, kasi kung ang bibigay lang natin sa kanila is yung mga hindi nila na-attain, parang if I am the student, parang medyo at my part, may ginawa naman maganda siguro sa task ng bata pero hindi na-recognize. And then, mawawala siya ng gana. Ano ba ito si teacher, di niya na-appreciate yung ginawa ko. Let's say, for example, nag-effort yung bata, kaso sobrang layo talaga nung sagot niya dun sa may pinagagawa. Especially, for example, sa math, nakaubos siya ng 2 papel for the computation. We need pa rin to recognize the effort kasi they are kids eh. Yan. Yun po, yun lang naman po yung sabihan namin.
Yeah.
Pero po, ayun, that's nicer na we also give feedback nga po.
I remember nga in our own vernacular, nilingkuran points. So what is that? Yung pag-attend mo ng class o at least may point naman, 'di ba? Yung presence mo may point. So in the online kasi kailangan din 'yan. How can you translate that thing na the submission part, submitting itself is already an achievement for the student. Mali nga lang, hindi nga lang ganun yung concept eh. Ako kasi meron akong rubrics. It's always part is my rubrics is if you will submitted on the date, may ibang point siya if you will submit early eh. So kahit mali yung score mo, pero pag nag-submit, mali yung pinaka-content mo, pero nag-submit ka naman online, on time, may points ka sa akin. Parang ganon, no? Para yung learning, alam naman natin, learning naman is hindi really talaga just fix eh. They can learn from other things and other stuff. Itong comment ni Sir Dennis, too many activities. It's difficult to read each responses. Meron akong counter comment into this, sir. Bakit too many? Oo, no? Yung ano ko, bakit too many? Baka sir, hindi natin na-project. Baka hindi natin masyadong na-iron out yung learning outcomes at the screen time at the preparation time. Kaya nagiging too many siya. So, ganon, no? I experienced that, totally understandable. Kaya ako, dumating din sa point actually na parang ang dami na talaga activities, hindi ko na kakayanin. So, I always go back to the learning outcome. So, usually naman kasi in our syllabus, meron tayong number of hours, di ba? I'm talking in the college. Number of hours. Pati yung assignment, mga even readings, palagi kong sinasabi, talagang isasama ko siya to my 54 hours. no? So, para hindi at the end of the day tayo pa rin kawawa ni teacher eh. Kasi at the end of the day, bakit hindi nagfi-feedback si teacher? 'Yun ang tanong. Kasi ang dami eh. Bakit ang dami mong binigay? Bakit ang dami mong binigay? Gano'n. Tapos sasabihin mo, kasi ang daming topic eh. Bakit? Sinasabi mo na every topic may activity. Di ba? Oo, ang importante lang naman is you can achieve or attain the learning outcomes or the objective ng curriculum guide mo, ng CJ mo. So ganoon. At hindi naman kailangan individual. Di ba? So ganoon pa rin. Pwede naman in group para if you have 40 students, pwedeng by 10 sila, apat lang i-check mo. So ganun siya. It's still yung sa akin, Sir Dennis, is really more on planning, classroom planning, para ikaw as a teacher at the end of the day, hindi mo pwedeng isagot na sa sobrang dami kasi. Kasi yun nga, yung always tanong ko, counter question ko is, bakit madami? Di ba? Dahil ba hindi ka prepared, so bigay ka lang ng bigay, or really you want them to have a formative assessment? Parang ganun lang. Kasi yun nga sabi ko, pwede mo namang multiple, meaning maraming assessment, pero nga in the online, let's find a way nga may kunting automation naman. Especially pag mga solving, mga ganon, which really understandable, Sir Dennis, kasi nga I teach on computations, mga ganon, no? And then you have high expectations na lalo na pag hindi na siya algebra, you will not talk anymore algebra, but you will come to realize, my God, algebra problem pala yung problema nila. Hindi pala about the logic of the
Lagi ay
subject
idugan na
matter.
lang ko. Pero nagulat na ba sila na Ken?
Mute. Okay. Yeah. So, itong sa Google Classroom na return their scores, may comment naka-attach siya. That's very nice, impressive, keep it up. So, ganun, we can still do that, no? We can still do that, especially for the essay. Kasi nga, even mga short words, I mean, I have to research yung anong tawag nito, while we are promoting complete words in the online submissions and etc. May mga points din na gumagamit na lang ako ng ano bang tawag doon, yung mga abbreviated na mga terms nila, no, tulad ng mga lol, laughing out loud. So I have to put really some caveat na while I'm doing this is just to make our discussion lighter. But as usual, kasi policy sa university, we don't allow shortcuts like text messages na mga responses. So, ganun siya. No? So, thank you for sharing. So, for this week is basically, again, yung mga sinasabi ko actually will be there are more lecture videos, especially for how to maximize the email as part of the email and the scheduling as part of personalized learning. Kasi engagement in assessment and feedbacking is highly correlated. Sorry, personalized learning is highly correlated with engagement and assessment. Kasi nga, why we personalize towards the assessment of learning talaga siya. So, we'll be teaching you some mga low tech type of technology na pwede nating magagamit in the personalization of learning. Kasi if we want our students to be engaged more into assessment, we have to cater their learning style. We have to cater their even reading styles, no? Even reading styles, we have to cater them. Kaya nga always a suggestion that there should be multiple content reading materials for our learners for them to choose which one they like. Kasi sa totoo lang, hindi lahat even in our virtual classroom now in this not all of you downloaded the slides, but they prefer the video. And then there is also a group, a percentage of participants, they don't watch the video, but they downloaded the slides. May mga ganun talaga, no? Kasi yun nga, preference siya, depende. But there are some who really downloaded but did not read. Nag-download lang to get the material. Pero okay lang 'yan. Kasi mga teachers tayo eh. Different yung different yung objective natin in attending the virtual classroom. So we are actually on the, I think, third from the last, and we are so excited. We are all excited to finish. And um, only a few survive perhaps, or maybe they are just parking. Yes, Sir Alex, you raise your hand.
Ayan, I would like to, I was, ano na po, I would like to ask lang po regarding po dun sa, since ang ano natin ay, ang topic po natin is just to engage our learner in the assessment that we are doing as teachers po. Kasi po, di ba po may formative and summative assessment po tayo. In summative assessment, sir, I would like to ask lang po, how many percent po ba dapat po dun yung selective type and then yung constructive side, constructive part po, how many percent po ba siya? Dapat po ba kailangan mas marami yung may essay part kaysa sa multiple choice para po ma-engage yung mga students po natin?
Sir, the standard respond, the ideal respond into that is there is no specific and standard formula of the distribution. Ang palaging sinasabi ng mga educationalists as strategists is always go back to your learning outcomes or your objective of the topic. Pag sinasabi ni objective na the student should create, tapos meron ka pang mga lower thinking skill, ikaw na ang bahala. Di ba may number of hours ka or number of duration? Ikaw na yung mag-distribute based on your assessment as the teacher, based on your evaluation, kung ilang number of construction or so on and so forth. Dito na pumapasok si classroom management, sir. Sa iyo na talaga ito. Kasi there is no formula. There is one size formula on the distribution of how many should be go to this, and even the type of the quiz, no? Especially for the objective. Wala talagang standard na how many multiple choice, how many yung mga ganun. Wala talaga. Kasi yung palaging sinasabi ng literature is always go back to your learning outcome. Kasi nga meron ding innovation in the quiz eh. Even multiple choice siya, pwedeng higher critical thinking skill kahit multiple choice. Yun ang mga sinasabi na we can innovate the type of quiz kahit true or false, pwedeng higher critical thinking skill. Hindi lang siya remembering type. Yung old way or traditional way of looking at true or false, multiple choice, etc., etc., they always tell, yung mga old literature is always telling us, ay, pang ano lang naman yan, knowledge and remembering, walang application. And hindi eh. Ako, I give multiple choice for my discrete math. I give true or false for my permutation. I give fill in the blanks. I give fill in the blanks for my computer data storage management formula. But still, it's on the critical thinking scale. So, wala sir, even on, there was also a question of how many number of minutes should a question be given. So, depende na rin. No? Although may international standard, but again, magdepende pa rin on the thinking, the critical thinking based on your objective and your Bloom's taxonomy. If you will ask me, ano yung practice ko, sir? Yung practice ko, I have, meron talaga akong, what is this, formative. During synchronous, every meeting, I'll tell you, I have 5 question formative type of assessment. 5, 10, meron yan. And then, so the students will learn lang para it will help them guide saan sila mag-read or saan sila magpo-focus to my lecture materials. So, meron akong formative niyan. For my summative, especially mga unit test, mga prelim exam, and etc., titignan ko sir talaga yung learning outcomes ko. No? So, titignan ko si learning outcomes ko. Question, do you fan? Am I fan of giving essay? No. Hindi ko na ano yung especially if I have X number of students, especially if I have so many students in my class. I don't give essay questions na. Bakit? I always give scaffolding type of project. Meaning from week one, yung project nila is the attainment of their final project. So instead of giving them the essay, doon na sa performance task. And most of my performance tasks really is uh, pang scaffold, no? Okay, sige. Sige. So but we are actually already time, and thanks for asking, Sir Alex. And please again continue inviting your colleagues. Parang ano na sila na nahihirapan na sila on the ano and um, for sure you have colleagues there, tell them to go on and keep on answering. There is a 15 if you are into CPD. This if you will receive participation and completion, you will actually earn 15 CPD points. Don't give up, sir. Don't give up, sir. Don't give
Laban
up. Just go.
lang.
Oo, laban lang. Laban lang. Okay? Sige. So that's all for this afternoon. Thank you, Ma'am Warley, and regards to the people out there and to all.
Di have kwan daw, message you.
Okay.
Nabasa mo na ba?
Oo.
Struggle is real.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Maraming
Thank you so much,
salamat.
sir.
Bye.
Bye-bye.